Hi, I'm Hermes, and I just wanted to talk about my experience during Ramadan. So it's actually my second time doing it. First time must have been like it's a bit over 5 years ago, I believe. But yeah, so it's just after it has finished, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience. And yeah, so with fasting in general, it's something I have practiced. In various videos, we talk about how we moved to China to live in the mountains and study Kung Fu. For 1 week while I was there as well, I did a 7 day water fast with my master. So literally just water for 7 days, a lot of meditation, qigong in that process. Yeah, I've done other sorts of fasts, but with this one in particular, even in comparison to a 7 day water fast, I'd say it's probably the most difficult fast. And that's because of it's a dry fast. So basically a dry intermittent fast. So no food, no water, I guess other things as well, from sunrise to sunset essentially. So yeah, it gets later and later as well as the month goes on. At the beginning it was around 6:30. By the end it ended up being like 8 p.m. So that's in London where I live. So it kind of got tougher and tougher. But just, yeah, I thought I would share my kind of experience. First and foremost, you speak to, I've got friends that are Muslim, but also people that you work with, or, people you interact with. The Muslim community, I have to say, are like very super welcoming. And especially if you let them know you're practicing something, because there's some cultures that might take offense to you practicing something that they do, like, why are you doing that? Or a lot of people that talk about things like cultural appropriation. But from my experience, like, it was only kind of excitement and advice. And I remember actually the first time I ever did Ramadan, I was kind of at a friend's house in the evening, and I had to get an Uber back. And then my Uber driver was Muslim, and it had gone slightly past at this point. I hadn't eaten or drank anything, and I let him know I was doing Ramadan. He was like, "Oh my God!" He gave me his bottle of water. I'll never forget that. Just, yeah, the really, really welcoming community, and there was that aspect of it which I really appreciate. I'll also say that this isn't the main reason for fasting. It's not the best way for weight loss. It's kind of more a consistent diet and consistent exercise. But I did lose 5 kilograms in that month. I do practice intermittent fasting anyway, so but just before I started Ramadan, I was eating between the times of 12 and 8. Now that I've finished, I didn't go straight back to 12 and 8 because, it's kind of a shock to the body, and you can put on weight shortly after fasting. I've just switched to basically between 4 and 8, so I just have like a 4 hour, even now, a 4 hour gap where I eat, and a 20-hour fast. Maybe I'll kind of ease out of that slowly as time goes on, but yeah, just intermittent fasting, there's so many kind of health benefits that come from it. I'd invite you to kind of do your own research into that if you're interested. Also did continue training during Ramadan. I obviously lightened it up, but yeah, I did notice that, yeah, it was going very well. I felt very clean. Sometimes if you eat or drink before training, you can very much feel there's something kind of there affecting you. There's like an essence there that you're kind of feeding off of. When you're just doing it literally with nothing in your system, no food, no water, like, it's literally just you, and you have to really dig to find those resources. I do Muay Thai, so yeah, it was really interesting, noticing the differences in my training. And also, I'm not a fan of eating too late, so I was also pretty much just having one big meal, one meal that was at least 1,200 calories just after sunset. So that's kind of how I was going about it. Some people wake up at like 3 a.m. and have a meal. Yeah, I wasn't really doing that, so maybe that's why I lost a bit more weight. But yeah, so I'm looking to kind of maintain that. I've been feeling a lot more healthy, so it definitely improved my health. Definitely felt that level of brotherhood. I will say, as I mentioned in the title, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not someone that really identifies with any religion per se. I'm a believer in omnism. I think there's truth to be found in all faiths. Personally, like, my kind of main areas of interest is Taoism, Buddhism, Hermeticism. So yeah, I practice a lot of meditation, and yeah, I think if you're going to compare, say, prayer, which a lot of Muslims do during Ramadan, and meditation, I'd say prayer is more kind of speaking to God. and meditation is more like listening to the universe or God. So I will say I meditate every evening, and during this month, there was definitely a deeper connection there for me. It was very, very interesting. So yeah, I'd invite people as well, if you do want to kind of practice this form of fasting or another form of fasting. Yeah, it definitely gives you a different kind of connection. Whether that be because food is very grounding, it's a very physical thing, so it kind of grounds you to your body, your environment. If you're away from it for a certain level of time and you meditate, yeah, I guess you're less kind of stuck in your body. I'll also say, from speaking to some friends and yeah, some Muslims, of why they practice, usually the reason is it's to build empathy for those that don't have food and water. And that's something I definitely try to focus on during this month. There are people out there that don't have food and water, so there's, a lot to be grateful for what we do have. And, taking that time to take yourself away from these luxuries that we have, it really, yeah, makes you grateful for them. That first drink of water after a long day of work, was the best water I've ever tasted. It just reminds you of how blessed we are to have food, to have water. That's why for this video, I'm going to do a little kind of charity giveaway. For every like, let's say, this video gets, I'll give £1 to a charity. Let me think of one at the top of my head. I'll find the best charity towards Palestine. If there's any suggestions as well, feel free to comment in the comment section below. But yeah, I'll definitely do my research on that. So every like this video gets, I'll give £1 towards a Palestinian charity. But thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Hermes. This is the Sageverse. We have a podcast called The Sage's Way. I'd invite you to check that out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out. Welcome to the Sageverse. Please just observe the birth of this creative surge, for the purpose to leave hatred purged and replaced with words that will make you learn to take your place on earth. And once you've taken your place and found your greatest of traits, cultivated the day, this will be making you sage.